We can hear them say, such a person ruled like this, he left his country. Such a person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us, so that we become cowards. I think they didn't understand something. When we say the country or death.
Hey, this is Janetta. Woo-hoo! Yeah. And man, is this something over here in Africa right now? I wish you were here, because I'm telling you, you're going to miss the boat. Hey, it is jumping, and I'm telling you, it's good jumping. I wouldn't be smiling, because, honey, we coming up out of this. Arise, Africa, arise. Wipe your weeping eyes. Yeah, I want you to listen to this young man, Ibrahim. I hate to mention his last name, but the president of Burkina Faso. I mean, the man with muscle. And I mean, only physical muscle. I mean, he got muscle spiritually and physically and mentally, and he is tearing it up. So listen to him. Hey, check him out.
Such a person ruled like this, he left his country. Such a person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us, so that we become cowards. I think they didn't understand something. When we say the country or death, it's not just a sentence. Take a listen at the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, deliver an impassioned address to representatives of young people from across Burkina Faso's 13 regions, as well as delegates from other African nations during the commemoration of the International Youth Day in Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. In his speech, Captain Traore told young people to get rid of cowardice, betrayal, and incompetence by standing together and not fear the fight against imperialism. According to the president, some of his African counterparts secretly observe and appreciate the actions Burkina Faso has undertaken in its struggle for sovereignty during international meetings. To this end, he exhorted the young people to work tirelessly for the emancipation and independence of Africa, in order to initiate development that truly benefits the continent's youth. Traore's words carried a powerful message of self-determination and Pan-African unity, challenging the assembled youth and those watching to be the catalysts for a more prosperous and sovereign Africa. This will inspire you. Africa faces many challenges, and we must ask ourselves questions. Is youth an asset or a handicap for the development of nations? The answer is simple and unequivocal, and you know it. Most developed countries have an aging population. Currently, many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their population. Africa has the good fortune of having a very young population. So why is Africa not developed? We must therefore focus on this question. To understand why Africa has a young population and yet is not developed, while the countries that consider themselves developed are seeking to rejuvenate their population. We must turn our youth into a true asset and a driving force for the development of our continent. And to do so, we need integration. We need security and development. We need to unite. Certainly, you will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the real effect of the African Union? We cannot talk about integration without addressing the theme of the African Union, as it is this organization that should unite us and create true integration. However, we regret seeing this war persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people, while this organization, which has at its head states equipped with armies, fails to organize itself to support certain countries. Unity is not just a word. Unity is a symbol, and we, the youth, should learn from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which hosts the headquarters of the African Union, experienced a conflict. When I saw the Prime Minister in military attire and announced the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see any action from the African Union to protect this headquarters. Western states, for the most part, saw Addis Ababa falling, packed their bags, and left.
Now you hear what he has said about the African Union. Let me give you a little tidbit. The African Union, it exists and it has member nations, but also the African Union gets 60% of their financing, not from the African states or countries, but from the West. Yeah. They get 60% of their financing from Europe, England, France, and Germany, and all those Western countries. That's where they get their finance. So you can imagine how they vote on a lot of things that pertain to us in Africa or as Africans. And now I want you to listen to what the expectations are when President Paul Kagame of Rwanda talks about the African Union and what we anticipate. So let's listen to him.
Has been instrumental in building on this common heritage to forge a more integrated future where the many voices of Africa can be heard. From security to health, infrastructure, and jobs for youth, we are taking responsibility for our challenges and offering solutions. That is the mindset that brings us closer together and creates positive change over time for everyone. It is home to some of the world's most ancient civilizations, but also to its most youthful population, who are as capable as you would find anywhere else. Our youth are energetic, innovative, and bold, and they are not afraid to change the status quo for the better by demanding more of ourselves and from each other.
It sounds good what Brother Paul Kagame says, President of Rwanda, but in actuality, based on what Brother Ibrahim says of Burkina Faso, it's not quite functioning like it's told by Brother Kagame. I'm waiting for you to say something about it because you said you had questions,
Yes.
young man.
Coco, I want to ask you. Ibrahim said that there is lack of support in this African Union. So which support is he talking about?
Well, he mentioned the fact that Ethiopia had a lot of difficulty and they were shutting down this university, and they had problems in that the African Union didn't run to actually support Ethiopia. And they hold their meetings there in Ethiopia, but the African Union did not support it. The African Union has not really been in full support to come against the dictates of the West. Because why? If somebody's financing you, whoever your donor is your owner. So how can we expect the African Union to do what they should do when it comes to this. But this young man, Ibrahim, he's fighting for the renewed Africa. He's fighting for freedom. He's fighting and making a fight and a stand for our liberty and our sovereignty. And that is not what is liked by representatives of the EU. They don't honor him. They want him to back down. They want him to step back. They don't want him to say what he's saying. They don't want him to do what he's doing. So we cannot have African Union when it's not in support of African sovereignty and the hands off of the West. So how can we do both things? And so believe what he's saying.
Okay, according to Kagame, he talked about African Union. But when we recall back, when Ibrahim said that, he said that leaders of African Union, they are not taking action. They're just wait. They're talking about there's no action at all. So what are you saying about this?
I'm saying, how can they act when their own, the 60% of their money is coming from the West? So since 60% of their money, what do you think they're going to do? That means the African states and countries only putting in 40%. The United States and Europe are putting in 60% of the funding. So you think that they're going to go against the United States and Europe? Do you think that they want us to have sovereignty? Do you think that they want to give up their hold on us? And we're under neocolonialism, and he's trying to get us out of neocolonialism, and he's looking for the corporation of the African Union, because all of us should want this liberty. So, I mean, what more can I say about it? Because, I mean, that's just the facts. We're being sold out. And when it comes to selling out, this next man that's going to come on, Minister Farrakhan, then he'll explain to you selling out is not only in Africa, but selling out happens in the United States of America. The black man's plight is not only Africa, because we can't keep our eyes just solely on what's happening in Africa. What's happening in Africa is just a mirror of what's happening all over the world, and how we black people need to know so we can know what to do and how to do it. So let's listen to Minister Farrakhan, because you need to know that the same thing he's talking about, men not having backbone, us not having the backbone, and coward, that we're backing down because the powers that be are holding us through money. Through money. Some of our leaders are selling out for money. So listen to Brother Farrakhan. Listen to Minister Farrakhan.
Brother and sister, men and women like this, we will tie and feather them. We will hang them from the highest limb. We will chop off their heads and roll them down the streets. For we, the black people of America, are tired of black leaders selling us out after we put them in office, working for our enemies rather than working for ourselves. Come on with it. So two of the family members of Moon are here with us tonight, letting you know that we are one. Their hurt is our hurt, their pain is our pain, their loss is our loss, and no bourgeois Negro, no bourgeois Negro who will not appreciate and respect lifestyles other than your own or white folks should dare lift your hand or open your mouth against people of your own without clear understanding. The people of Mu were not criminals. They robbed no one. They killed no one. But they were killed. And that same mayor will go to Germany and cry over Jews burning in an oven, but has not shed a tear for burning up little black babies in a modern Holocaust. I say the mayor should be taken out of office, run out of town. You say, Farrakhan, you stirring up trouble. I did not drop the bomb. But I intend to stir up black people in America like they have never been stirred up in the history of black America, that no traitor, no treacherous act by white or black will go along unpunished by the masses of black people. We are rising up, never to be put down again. Beloved black people, you must stop condemning people without knowledge. You must stop destroying yourself and one another simply because white folk and their black imps don't like other black people. If your black brother want to wear dreadlocks, let him alone.
You hear what Brother Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan, is saying. And the reason why I wanted you to hear that is because that's the attitude that this young man has, President of Burkina Faso. But he's in a more precarious position than Farrakhan, because in the United States, there's some covering to some extent. But over here in Africa, and even in the United States, we have people that will try to destruct. We got people that are trying to keep him down, don't want him to say what he's saying because he might mess up their little whatever they're getting, their jobs or whatever. But the whole point of it is that we as a people need to make a stand. And this young man of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim, the president, 35, 36 years old, this young man, if he's not appointed and anointed, hey, you listen to him and you take in what he's saying about cowardice. Because those people that turn us in, those people that won't react, those people that run scared, they're the people that we have to fear the most, because those are the people that will work against us and not for us. So, hey, it's time for Africa to rise, and you listen to this young man because he's worth listening to and following. All right.
As it is this organization that should unite us and create true integration. However, we regret seeing this war persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people, while this organization, which has at its head states equipped with armies, fails to organize itself to support certain countries. Unity is not just a word. Unity is a symbol, and we, the youth, should learn from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which hosts the headquarters of the African Union, experienced a conflict. When I saw the Prime Minister in military attire and announced the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see any action from the African Union to protect this headquarters. Western states, for the most part, saw Addis Ababa falling, packed their bags, and left. Ethiopia fought to find an internal solution and lives more or less in peace today. Meanwhile, the children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as the one in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the necessary forces and strategies to support these states so that they can find peace. We cannot discuss our situation in the Sahel without mentioning the last 10 years. The Sahel is the theater of international terrorism, but we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a country outside Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated in a cowardly terrorist and barbaric attack against our Confederation's forces in Tinzaouattan. The African Union said nothing to condemn this interference. The African Union found no words to condemn this interference by a state outside Africa in the internal affairs of our states. With this outcry, I hope they hear it and break their silence to take action.
Et qu'ils sortent donc de leur silence et poser des actes pour que la jeunesse puisse croire.
For the youth to believe in the African Union, we must unite.
Il nous faut nous unir.
We must unite. And the only way to do so is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to establish the foundations of this unity. And let me tell you that to unite, there are three words, three great vices, which we must banish from our behaviors and our lives: cowardice, betrayal, and incompetence. We must banish these three words from our way of life, and I will explain why. Cowardice covers many vices. A coward is always afraid, and when one is afraid, one becomes a slave, one bends, one gives up the fight. Our ancestors were not cowards. And if we are cowards, our children will ask us questions. Imagine in Burkina if we refuse to fight and accept submission, to live in slavery. Tomorrow, our children will grow up and ask themselves, were our parents cowards to leave us in slavery? Whether we are alive or dead, we will feel it. The coward is afraid, and the imperialists have understood that they are trying to scare the leaders so that they become cowards. Because when you are a coward, all the other vices can be born. They do everything so that we are afraid. They come to our palaces. They threaten us directly. Of course, we respond as it is necessary.
Now that you heard him, you better believe that the torch is lit for him. They want to try to blow him out of the sky. They want to try to do everything that they can do. And they're going to use some people that look like him to try to do it. So if you're praying, hey, put the prayer up for this young man in Burkina Faso, and also Mali, and also Niger, and also the association, that others will join. And in his talk, he lets you know that he has seen some people whisper to him, I wish we could do it. We can't do it. I can't do what you're doing. I understand. I'm with you, what you're doing, but I just can't do it. Those are cowards. They're cowards. They're afraid. They're afraid of the big, bad wolf. All right.
I want to ask you there. You say, Ibrahim say about cowardness, and he'd say that is the root of our failure as a youth and leaders. What does he mean about that?
Well, what he's talking about, what he's saying is that we got to fight it. These people are not going to give us anything. We got to take back what is ours. And they're not going to give it up very easily. So they're going to try to use us against us to do what they want to do. And so we have to be very careful about that, because right now on the borders, they're taking young people that need to eat, and they're using their young people, feeding them, and then giving them a gun and having them shoot their own people. So we got to be courage, because these people don't let up. And we don't need people that are afraid and scared to do something, scared to say something, scared to make a stand. We don't need them in leadership. They need to go. So that's what he's saying. I wrote it. He'll tell you about cowards.
Okay. No. And he said that cowardice is the root of failure and gap of weakness.
Yeah. It was some of that he let us know. It was some of that got us in colonization and got us in slavery. And that in the United States is keeping us in the position that we're in. We're still not free. You better believe it.
So you say that the powerful country, they use fear to manipulate us.
They use fear and they use money.
They use
I don't know which one they use more powerful, the fear or the money. Or is the fear of you don't take the money, we'll kill you, because they'll kill you anyway. Don't make no difference. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference. They want to win. Look at Haiti. Look at that country, what they've done. They don't want to lose. And even when they lose, you still got to fight. The battle is not over. You look all over where the black man is. Do I have to say anything? Do you understand, young man, what is going on? Do you understand what he's trying to say? We need our leaders to get together. We need people to get together. But if our leaders don't get together, you stop following those that are cowards. Stop following leaders that are selling us out. Follow those leaders that are talking about taking us out of this and freeing us as a free people. We don't want to be enslaved anymore. I don't care what you call it. You can call it colonialism. You can call it neo-colonialism. You can call it whatever you want to, but we're still enslaved to these people. And I don't care how you dress. If you're a billionaire, you're an enslaved billionaire. I don't make any difference until we shake free. There's no man until the land is ours, until they can stop coming on our land and getting oil and taking gold and taking diamonds and then sending us a damn loaf of bread. We are slaves. So we need the courage.
I think the problem of youth, we don't understand our history.
You can't understand it because we didn't do it. I'm 81. I can confess to it. You know, a lot of people can confess. They change your name. They change the name of your country. They change it. They don't want you to know how brave we are. They don't want you to know how educated, how far advanced we are. They don't want you to know. They want you to believe that you were running around in the jungle someplace. That's what they told us. You were swinging in trees, and you need the white man named Tarzan to help you find the right tree. So, you know, this is the whole thing about it. And Ibrahim, that young man, and those others working with him in Mali and in Niger that are working alongside of him, not with him, but alongside of him, they're making a step, and there's a fight going on. And for the rest of the AU, the African Union, to act like there's nothing going on. Nothing going on. But there's a fight, and these young people are going to rise up. I'm dependent on them. The young people, you're our future. If you don't want a future like we have had it, you're going to make a change. You got to do something about it. You can't be a coward. You got to have some spine. You got to. And like Ibrahim says, I'd rather be free than to live. I'd rather be a free man than to live as a slave. So that lets you know where he is. Now you heard what the president of Burkina Faso said, young Ibrahim. And it's true. It's true. And we need to do something about it. But hey, it won't all be done today, but you listen and you think about it and you see what part you're going to play. All right? Okay. Every day, step by step, there's something that we can do. And we can all do something, play our part. It's about freedom. And once Africa is free, everybody's going to be free. Okay. Talk to you later. Hey, got some hot stuff coming. So, hey, keep tuned to the channel. And blacksinradio.com. Hey, on Saturdays. And hey, if you like it, you like this video, hey, encourage me. Hey, let me know you like it. Subscribe. And hey, to my subscribers, thank you. Hey, and those that share it with people, because all people need to see it. Yeah. Hey, Africa's a rising. Talk to you later. Ciao, Bella. Hey, this is Janetta, and you're watching Africa Speak.